15. It is an honor for me to speak in this momentous event that is our high school graduation and represent this class as this year's valedictorian. A few days ago, when I got the call, I told my dad that I was a valedictorian. Instead of saying, "Congratulations," or "I am so proud of you," he simply asked, "Valedictorian? What kind of dinosaur is that?" Explaining to him what it really meant, it got me thinking, what right does having the highest GPA give me to tell you what to do? I could try to uncliche the cliche and tell you what have already been said, like follow your dreams, be the leaders of tomorrow, don't have kids before you're married, don't do drugs, listen to your inner voice. But to answer my previous question, none really. There are people here around us today that are wiser, more intelligent, and more experienced than I am. So here's what I'll do. I will share my hopes and confidence for the future for you all. Before I do so, I have to be honest. I'm rather nervous, and it's not just because I have to follow Yosef, the Shark's phenomenal speech. Isn't it a bit ironic that the reward for, let's face it, a lot of hard work is public speaking? Especially for a girl who used to have a stuttering impediment. This is quite intimidating. Did you know that public speaking is the #1 most prevalent fear in the world? Death follows it at #2, followed by disease, heartbreak, spiders, frogs, and AP biology exam. This just goes to show how absurd fear really is. People would rather endure physical and actual pain rather than to experience momentary humiliation. Recently, I have been cognizant about how fear affects our lives, at least how it affects mine. Going to the next phase of high school, you and I will face many opportunities to be afraid. Being oceans away from home, having to transition into a new place, having to meet new friends, and being far away from friends whom we have been with for years. But somehow, I am not afraid. And that is only because I have the world's greatest safety net. For unbelievers, I can understand why there is fear. But as believers, we have no reason to fear. We know how this all ends, and whatever we face here is necessary so that God can transform us into the people we were meant to be. That may mean physical hardships, emotional challenges, practical encounters with rats and locusts and frogs, and even more encouragement is public speaking. But bottom line, if we trust in God, we can overcome fear. One midnight during our senior trip to Bali, David was teaching the class how to play a game called silent football. Does anyone know that game? Well, I quickly picked up that it is basically a game where we all have to stay silent for an entire hour, passing around an imaginary ball by slapping our thighs, while master planner, grandmaster explains it and bullies us all, Jonathan and Yosef. Anyway, while David was explaining, Tammy asked, "How do we win?" He replied, "There's only one loser in this game. We don't try to win, we try not to lose. We don't play to win, we play not to lose." The first moment I heard that, the theme of this year's speech struck me. It just hit me like magic. My first thought was, man, if only ideas would hit me like this during the long late nights of high school. My second thought was along the lines of fear and living in it. I do not want to live like how silent football is played. I do not want to live in fear. I do not want to live to not lose. Nor do I want any of you to either. Let us not allow fear to hinder the promise of opportunities and risks. Fear and passion are two sides of the same emotion. Fear approaches a challenge with hesitation and diffidence. But passion approaches the same difficulties with conviction and optimism. Let us all put fear aside and not live to not lose, Let us live to win. I look at you all, and I am inundated with recollections. Daily games of tag, albeit perhaps a more distasteful version of it involving buggers. Bench ball, World War III, camping at Pine Forest, hikes, ice skating, paintballing, trampolining, ATVing, prank calls, crazy history projects, arguing for ages about whether the answer to number 53 on part A on an exam we took weeks before was either B or C. Yes, we do that. As many of you probably know, our class has a reputation involved with an excess of academia, but that's okay. But I look at you all, especially today, and I see a circle of people bristling with ambition and talent that inspires me every day. We have musicians, readers, writers, artists, and athletes. We have a future doctor, a future designer, a future chemical engineer, a future basketball player, a future food scientist, an entrepreneur, a teacher, a priest, a writer. We are clearly all so different. And I know that we are on a path to a plethora of success and joy. Teachers and parents, our success is your success. Yes, this is the part of the speech where I express my gratitude to people who have loved me regardless of my attitude. Mr. Pace, Mr. Newell, Mrs. Lovejoy, and Mrs. Christensen, our class sponsors these years who have given us fun. We know that we can be a hassle, but as they say, the hassle is worth this hassle. Bible teachers, thank you for valuable insight to God. You deserve more than this here applaud. Mr. Bergen, math and science, ridiculously well read. But I will remember you for your chill and patience instead. Ms. Lamartha, for your passion, love, and clarity. Never in a million years would I have thought I would be writing a poem voluntarily. Mr. Green, for your stories and testimony. Today I would like to recognize you during this ceremony. Mom and Dad, thank you for your love unceasing, for giving me this and that and really everything. My grandparents, Ma, Oma, and Opa, for your unconditional love, for always taking my side when push comes to shove. My precious brother Stephen, my best confidant. Last but not least, my uncles, cousins, and aunts. For caring for me like one of your own, you are the best family I could have ever known. And that is basically where my poetry skills stop. It takes courage to grow up and be who you really are. E.E. Cummings said that. I chose this quote because it involved my theme of fear and courage. But let's be honest, the real reason I chose this quote was because of all my time in high school, this is the only Cummings quote that makes sense. Let us not live to not lose. Let us live to win. A subtle but vital difference that can allow the dread of failure to supersede the joy of success. Let us be courageous. Let's be daring. But let us never forget about friends, families, and the necessity of joy in life. Cora, Corey, Albert, Yimsa, Jonathan, Hichan, Vanessa, Tony, DP, Janelle, and Kelly. Here's to you all. Let's walk out of this room with pride and bravado, knowing that we have finally made it. Congratulations. I am so, so proud of you. Thank you.